Welcome to season 2 of the UAB Dynasty here on College Sports Revive, everyone. And today, we enter the new year with new hope for the future. Looking to build off a 5-win, 7-loss season to open up this series, head coach Lloyd Hicks did not mess around this offseason. He hit the trail hard and found what's hopefully our quarterback of the future and Texas transfer, KJ Lacey. Lacey's an Alabama native who played with the Ryan Williams back in high school, showing that he knows how to get his playmakers the ball. We love his athletic ability, his accuracy, and his power forward pedigree as the KJ Lacey era of UAB football begins today. We added a lone four-star in recruiting as well, 6'1" running back George McCleskey, who seems to be a perfect fit with our new quarterback. The San Antonio native has star dev, great footwork, and elite receiving ability. And with these incredible skill caps, the sky is the limit for the true freshman. The defense underwent a max exodus, but we have new faces to help support the change. UNC transfer Jaden Patterson made the transition from safety to cornerback over the offseason and enters his sophomore season as the most athletic player on this defense by a wide margin. He'll team up with other transfers, and our new defensive captain, first team All AAC safety AJ Brown, who returns for one final year. I think this team is at a point where our first bowl game should be the expectation. We won 5 games in year one, and anything below that in year two would be a massive disappointment. And today, we'll begin with what's hopefully the road to postseason football with the team at the tail end of the preseason top 25 list, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. The Deacons won 8 games in a wide open ACC conference last year and added in the portal at multiple positions, including siphoning one of our own. Perry Fisher was one of 10 players to transfer over the offseason, joining the likes of Corey Milner, Tariq Watson, and Trace Campbell, who all found new homes over the summer. Wake's quarterback situation is a bit iffy, bringing in Kent State transfer Drew DeShields, who was only a 72 overall. It's surprising an ACC school couldn't do better than this if they wanted a portal quarterback, but maybe they liked his electric running ability, and running quarterbacks were one of our biggest deficiencies as a team a year ago. And you'll have number one target and an elite receiver, Micah Hayes Jr., who has 95 speed and 91 catching ratings. So our brand new number one corner, Jaden Patterson, will be tested from the jump. Using UABs as the base, I also created a new playbook, adding more deeper concepts, screenplays, and motion as we try to put our new quarterback in the best position to succeed and start the KJ Lacey era of UAB football 1-0. And some key coaching adjustments that got to make. Got to set our cornerback matchups based on overall, so we'll have Patterson shadowing Micah Mays all game. And we'll also be cheating the quarterback option on those replays in an effort to take Drew DeShields out of this game. Solomon Beebe and Caleb Brown, both back deep to return the kick. And as the rain falls in Winston-Salem, Season 2 is underway. Brown returned a kick for a touchdown last year, but it's Beebe who takes it from the 4, and he'll be corralled by the Deacons just shy of the 20 as head coach Lloyd Hicks watches his new quarterback lead the offense out there for the first time. And perhaps we should have some tempered expectations. I mean, the rain is going to be relentless according to the forecast all night long, and he's playing an ACC team on the road in his debut. But let's see how he handles the elements out of his control as Lacey begins with a give to Solomon Beebe with some flare pre-snap. That's going nowhere though. Solomon Beebe, our projected lead back, is a 5'10 sophomore, but expect to see 3-4 running backs, including this man right here, true freshman 4-star gem George McCleskey, who we get out in space. I'm a huge fan of his receiving skills. 79 short route running. That is an awesome number for a running back. And he stays in the game on 3rd and 4. He'll be out in the flat, and Lacey tries to find him, and it goes through his hands. Excellent closing speed by Zamari Stevenson, as this ACC team is going to have a lot more speed than we're accustomed to seeing, over in the AAC. Now here's Drew DeShields leading his men out for the first time, and it's an inside handoff to Jamar Searcy. We were actually above average by AAC standard stop in the run last year, and now 3rd and 4, trips to DeShields right. We send a stunt, and he's still got a man. Nice pass delivered there by DeShields. His receiver's up across the 35, but it is punched out. Jaden Patterson, the scoop and the recovery and the run back. UAB takes over at the Wake 32, and one of our new transfers immediately making an impact. The UNC transfer, Jaden Patterson. If there was any doubt he could make the conversion from safety to corner this offseason, I think it has been silenced. 96 speed, 80 play rec, and 82 hip power. The sophomore has got speed to burn and intensity on all plays. UAB fails to capitalize though. Wake Forest will take right back over after those early fireworks, but the Shields is going down. This is Ezra Odenjor, and he replaces one of the 4 new players on our defensive line. That's going to be one of the most inexperienced parts of our team, as Odenjor only had 2 sacks as a freshman last year. Now as a sophomore, he's got his 1 in the debut game. 2nd and 15 to Shields. We'll drop one off to Micah Mays, and he's up across the first down marker. Micah Mays is going to be a handful for Jaden Patterson tonight, a Florida native with 95 speed. Now in the eye, good blocking here set up for the running back. This is Tate Carney, who will go all the way, and Wake Forest punches right back after the Patterson fumble. Touchdown Carney, 54 yards. And right after I kind of gassed up our run defense last year, this was a pretty pathetic showing on this play. They came out with the jumbo personnel and just paved the path. Patterson found himself on his backside there. And all in all, definitely not a good showing there early on. So KJ Lacey looking for his first points as the UAB quarterback. He'll hand it off to McCluskey, who grabs a first down, 3 for 15, so 5 yards a pop here early on for McCluskey in his debut. Now a screen setup. This is Iverson Hooks, who becomes a starting receiver this year, 5'10 sophomore. Only 16 grabs a year ago, but this time he finds some running room. And Jamie Beard, the power back freshman, the 3-star gem. A huge hole for him to grab 12 there, the longest run of the first quarter for UAB. And now on 3rd and 4, looking to convert again. This is Lacey outside the pocket, and right on the money, it's Jalen Elder who makes a move and grabs a couple of yards at the tail end of that play. Jalen Elder was number 9 in the top freshman list in the NCAA last year. 1st and goal, now a draw play to Beard. Want to use him in short yardage situations and down here in the red zone, but this one is blown up. 2nd and goal now, Ferguson in motion. Lacey hit as he throws. And now it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 13. And this offensive line, 3 new starters. You might see some growing pains from them. Extra man sent by Wake Forest, but this one's right on the money for Caleb Brown, our top returning receiver. And on 4th and goal, we actually do send the offense back out there. Lacey in the shotgun. And check this out. He must have learned this from Sark over at Texas. The hard count gets Wake Forest to jump, and we're going to have the distance to the goal, making this 4th down a little bit more manageable for the Blazers. Yes, we decide to go for it. 4th and goal. Fake to Beebe. Over to Ferguson, and he gets in for the touchdown. Oh my goodness, we got a little bit lucky right there, I have to say so myself. It was an RPO. Ferguson out in the flat with blocks set up for him, and Wake Forest played it right. But the defender tried to knock it out of Ferguson's hands, as you can see here, even though he just needed to stop him from reaching the goal line. So an undisciplined play there by Wake Forest, and Lacey is the main beneficiary of that. 7-7 with 7:13 left to go here in the first half. DeShields back out there for another series of work. This time he will keep it and get across the first down marker. DeShields, the Kent State transfer, threw for 2,200 yards last year. And we actually hired his former coordinator. Our new offensive coordinator is the former Kent State coach, and up into the 2nd level and more. A long gash there by Jamar Searcy. 26 yards for the Wake Forest running back. And now it's goal to go for the 25th ranked team in the country. Searcy in untouched. And Wake Forest retakes the lead, 14-7. And this crowd is back on their feet. It's going to be a battle all night long. I know we were pretty optimistic about the team here in year 2. We still have some holes, obviously, as you can see firsthand. So now Lacey, 2nd and 7, bunch to his left. And he takes what the defense gives him. It is Caleb Brown showing off that 99 agility while shedding off tackles. You heard that right. Caleb Brown in offseason recruiting, the 5'10 senior now has 99 agility, and we're looking to give him the ball as much as he can handle it. 1st and 10, flushed by Lacey. He'll drop it off to George McCluskey. He'll at least get something. And Lacey does have 85 speed, which is a lot higher than Jalen Kitna last year. He's not a statue like Kitna was in the pocket a year ago. But McCluskey bottled up on this play, and I want to show Landry Witherspoon, a JUCO transfer, our first recruit ever in the series, number 64, completely whiffing on his assignment. And these offensive linemen, especially the three new ones, they're going to be on very short leashes as we continue to try to fill out this offensive line. And again, they let KJ Lacey get walloped there in the pocket. So this will result in a punt. And Dan Canbrenner will punt it away to the always dangerous Micah Mays Jr., who's been a little bit quiet here in this first half. Only one catch, so you know he's anxious to have the ball in his hands. And look at this, slicing and dicing our coverage team, and Wake Forest with an advantageous position to go up by 2 scores. Here is Drew DeShields, and it is Tate Carney as a nice play there. That was defensive captain A.J. Brown coming up to make the play, and now a chance to get off the field here. 3rd and short. This Shields, it's covered well. Shell coverage from UAB, but finally Carney breaks open and will tuck and run and get that first down. Shields only throwing 4 times tonight as he makes his Wake Forest debut. Maybe the rain has something to do with that. Now he'll keep it here on 1st and 10, and nobody's home. Another first down for Wake Forest. DeShields showing off that running ability. He was 500 as the Kent State starter last year. Now fullback dive, charging forward, but look at Jaden Patterson, the former safety, not afraid to try to take down the fullback there. Now only 13 seconds to go. Wake Forest with 1 timeout. Carney bottled up A.J. Brown with Brandon Franklin in on the stop, and now Wake Forest, they burn their last timeout. And with only 7 seconds left, if this doesn't go to the end zone or out of bounds, they have a chance of missing out on points here. DeShields with time, 3 seconds to go. It's got to go to the end zone, but no, he tucks and runs, and he tries to do it himself. But UAB holds firm, and Wake Forest exits the second half without points. What a stand there by the defense. And the Demon Deacons screw up that opportunity in a huge way. And you gotta like what you're seeing from UAB. A lot of the newcomers, they're the ones making the big impact tonight. Only down by a touchdown to our ACC foe. KJ Lacey has made good decisions. Perhaps getting a little bit lucky there on that RPO touchdown, his first of his UAB career. But all in all, man, DeShields has only thrown 4 times, and the running game has had their fair share of moments on Wake Forest side of things, but let's see if we can stop it here to begin the second half. And a shot play right out of the locker room, and it is broken up by another transfer. This is Matthew Traynor, who comes down from Wisconsin to become one of our new starting safeties. 2nd and 10 RPO as Cersei tries to go up and over a downed UAB defender, and he pays the price for it. And now UAB again has Wake Forest on the ropes. Extra pressure sent, and it is broken up. A.J. Brown. I want to use our defensive captain as a Swiss Army knife. That time he was playing slot corner on a passing situation. Perfectly executed there. 2nd and 10 here as UAB takes over. George McCluskey trying to get him out in space. Some blocks and some nice vision displayed by McCluskey, who comes up a little shaken up at the tail end of that play, but it's only a minor injury. McCluskey would re-enter moments later. Now Solomon Beebe checks in. Haven't seen too much of him tonight as we'll fake to number 11. Get it out in the flat, and it is Antonio Ferguson who charges forward. Throws the ball out to get that first down. Ferguson was a very serviceable tight end last year, finished 4th in yards a year ago. And now 3rd and 10, we go back to him, and he gets all 10 by himself while making multiple Demon Deacons look silly in the process. I know KJ Lacey has come to play tonight, but he's also got to have some credit thrown the way of these receivers. They're also showing out tonight. 1st and goal, man on man. It is Jalen Elder. Quick pass to the flat, turning it up. And he is in for a touchdown. The 2nd for Lacey here in his UAB debut. And the UAB Blazers here in the second half against the number 25 team in the country, they are tied. And guess what? Wake Forest, they go 3 and out. We get the ball back with just minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Caleb Brown lining up at the running back spot. We set up the slip screen for him, and number 5's got room to work, putting on the Jets. And he's knocked out in front of the 35-yard line. Caleb Brown, what a play there. And Coach Lloyd Hicks, man, he has been calling quite the game tonight. I said I wanted to get Caleb Brown all the touches he can handle, including lining him up at the running back spot. and letting him go to work out in space. I see the Vikings using Justin Jefferson sometimes back there, so that's where my inspiration came for that one. George McCluskey, inside give, and McCluskey, first down. The running game's been a little hit and miss tonight, but McCluskey's definitely been the guy that's shown more versus him and Solomon Beebe. But here's Beebe on 2nd and 6, and I think that's a pretty bad spot. It looked like he got tackled right on top of the marker, but they mark him 2 yards shy. So now we'll send Beebe out in motion, trying to pick up this 3rd down. Wake Forest sends 4. Ferguson open, and he's in for the touchdown. KJ Lacey with the hat trick, and Ferguson gives the Blazers the lead. And Winston-Salem, North Carolina is shocked right now. And guess who was in on that stop? Look at number 9 in the Wake Forest jersey, Perry Fisher. He tried to stop Ferguson shy of the goal line to no avail. And UAB will enter the 4th quarter, throwing the 4s up in the driver's seat, 21-14. And Lacey, as you can see here, spreading the ball all around to his top playmakers. Super impressed with the redshirt freshman. With his Power 4 pedigree, he looked ready to play tonight. Now Wake Forest at midfield, and there is a play broken up by Patterson. Again, Micah Mays. They don't get the ball to him, but here on 3rd and inches, one of our new defensive tackles, that's Jazier Peterson. As he starts for the first time this year, he almost stopped the draw in his tracks. 2nd and 12 now. Play fake, misdirection. Drew DeShields running out of time. The 2nd sack of the night for UAB. This is Eamon Smalls, as he and Peterson will team up to be the new starting defensive tackles for UAB this season. 3rd and 19, coming out in the dime, as the defensive back's playing the marker. DeShields trying to extend. He'll do it himself for the most part, but 11 yards shy, and again UAB stands their ground. They got the opportunity to go up 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. Solomon Beebe, wow, he got whacked there by number 58, and now he has to exit. This has been a very physical game played by both teams. You've seen it in the highlights, the tough hits, and yeah, it's starting to add up. Solomon Beebe with a severe wear and tear right now. 1st and 10 though, fresh set of downs, and KJ Lacey, here he goes, and he'll slide just shy of the marker. Definitely happy to see Lacey as a running threat. We don't have to bring in Trace Campbell and telegraph it whenever we want to run. Now Jamie Beard on short yardage, 1st down. And you can tell when Jamie Beard's in the game because pre-snap he stands straight up and down just like Ashton Jinsey. So that's how you know Beard's about to get a carry. And now here is Marquise Collins, the 4th running back you're seeing tonight. He's stepping in for the injured Solomon Beebe, and he'll get his 2nd carry in a row, but he's chopped down. Another big hit, this time by Levain Scruggs. 3rd and manageable. Doing a great job with this tonight, making life easy on 3rd down for Lacey, and we'll send Collins in motion. Here we go, Lacey. Wake Forest sends 4, and he's got a man! Taking the top off the defense. Touchdown! Jalen Elder! And UAB's up 14, doubling the score of the 25th ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They went man, and I guess they had a linebacker on him who didn't realize until it was too late that, yeah, that's your guy. But it was a mismatch either way, and Jalen Elder makes them pay, and it's so nice to have a quarterback this year that can make these long-distance throws consistently. That was the weakest point between Jalen Elder and Trace Campbell a season ago, and UAB feels the upset coming. They're so close to getting this done. Next drive for the Demon Deacons. If they can score before the 2-minute warning, they feel pretty good about potentially having a shot in this game. Drew DeShields lofts it over to Micah Mays. That's only his 3rd catch all night, as Jaden Patterson has been way too much to handle for Micah Mays, their top receiver. 3rd and 4. Looking over the middle will be Drew DeShields. It's picked off. Jaden Patterson, he's been everywhere tonight. And I think you can warm up the buses. UAB looks like they're going to hang on for the first top 25 win of the head coaching tenure of Lloyd Hicks. And Patterson ends his night with a forced fumble and recovery, a couple tackles for loss, and an interception to seal this game. What a debut. And here in garbage time, Wake Forest does get the ball back with 24 seconds to go. As long as nothing insane happens here, we should be good. But you guys know college football just as much as I do. And the deep shot in double coverage does get caught by running back Jamar Searcy to give the Demon Deacons one final shot at it. But despite being down all second half long, or most of it, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons still opt to go for 2 here to make it a 6-point game. And it'll be a keeper for DeShields, and he is stopped. Ezra Ojanor and others in on the stop, including Matthew Trainer. But Ojanor comes up a little shaken up. But at the end of the day, we still do get the stop. And now Wake Forest needs a 2-point conversion and touchdown alongside this recovery. But it's Caleb Brown manning the hands team. And we will hold on. 28-20. The UAB Blazers start 1-0. The biggest win of the dynasty. And they begin the KJ Lacey era with a huge road win. I think tonight kind of begins and ends with the redshirt freshman. Lacey was excellent in his Blazer debut. Coach Hicks helped ease his way into things with the quick game early on, and in the second half, we saw Lacey air it out bit by bit. He was also hit a lot tonight. Wear and tear was a little bit of an issue. The offensive line, at least in its current configuration, looks like it might have taken a step back, but he fought through it and tossed 4 touchdowns in his debut, 2 going to Ferguson and 2 going to Eller, including the knockout punch to make it a 2-score game. And as you'd expect, the running game was balanced. 4 players saw 4 more carries, with McCleskey looking the best as the only back who averaged over 5 a carry. But I liked how he spread out the attack on the ground. McCleskey finished his collegiate debut with 11 total touches, turning them into 62 yards all-purpose. But how about this defense, man? Other than A.J. Brown, who would turn in a big night to begin the year with 3 TFLs himself, I wasn't really sure what to expect from any other player, but Jaden Patterson, he was arguably the best player out there. And if there was any doubt on his ability to transition to corner from safety, it was dashed on the first drive, forcing and recovering that fumble. He also recorded his first interception and held Micah Mays Jr. to only 3 catches and under 30 yards. This was a sound game all around. We struggled a bit defending the run at times, but we knew it would be a weakness entering the year, and it was a rain-soaked game. So, that's where we knew that they were going to try to hit us with. But it is also an afterthought with how soundly we played and the upset win we earned here. And the first thing I did after getting back to the main menu was check and see if Jaden Patterson received any national attention for his UAB debut, where he recorded all those stats. But your National Player of the Week goes to Scooby Williams of Texas A&M for 10 tackles and a pick 6. Chaz Nidrom from USF run Offensive Player of the Week with 200 receiving yards as USF got into a shootout with FIU. But how about at the conference level? Did Patterson win the award at the American level? We found out. No, he did not. Cornerback Cameron Miller of Memphis had 7 tackles, forced a fumble, and recovered 2. I might be biased, but Patterson definitely was robbed in my opinion. But we'll let the media keep sleeping on him as we enter Game 2, our home opener against the Nevada Wolfpack. Nevada's gone a polarizing 1-1 over their first 2 games. A 42-3 defeat at number 18 UCLA was kind of what everyone expected. Then they posted 58 points in a blowout victory over Western Kentucky, where fans tossed over 300 yards in their first win. Nevada also has an underclassman sensation at running back. We'll have to be prepared for 5'9" sophomore Herschel Turner. He came on the scene strong, accounting for over 900 yards as a true freshman, but we actually won't have to worry about him. An ankle injury against Western Kentucky will cost him most, if not all, his second season, which puts more pressure on this quarterback, Brandon Vance, a first-year starter who played behind Brock Purdy's younger brother here last year. He hasn't attempted to run much over his first 2 games despite being a good athlete, but it's something to keep in mind. And the strongest point of this Nevada team is probably their defensive line, who's already tallied 13 tackles for loss and 5 sacks in only 2 games. When deciding what team to pick for Dynasty, I was actually torn between Nevada and UAB, but I saw another sports YouTuber already playing with Nevada, so that prompted my decision to come to Birmingham originally. So it'll be fun to get a glimpse at the team we nearly decided to rebuild, and we'll see if UAB can take the momentum provided by our top 25 victory in Week 1 into our home opener as we try to start 2-0 here for the first time in this series. But we'll begin with an RPO catch and run there by receiver Marshawn Brown, who's 6'3" with speed. Going to be a tough matchup for Patterson here in this one, but Patterson and A.J. Brown, the 2 up-and-coming defensive backs for UAB, stopping Kai Woods, the starting running back, in his tracks. Now 3rd and 4, they try to go back to Woods, but the edge is set. That is McKinney and Ezra Odinjor in on the stop. And the Wolfpack will be forced to punt here on their first possession. Now, this is a freshman punter they trot out there who does not put a lot of distance behind this one, as Solomon Beebe will redirect. He's got room to run. Tries to put the juke move on the gunner, but he is dropped at the 45. An excellent field position for this offense that put up over 300 yards on the road against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons a week ago. Now, bunch to our right, it's McCluskey, who's bottled up from the first play from scrimmage here for KJ Lacey and his guys. Now on 3rd and 9, he'll have to look to the air to get it done. As Lacey on the in route, it is caught by Jalen Holmes, the senior, making his first catch of the dynasty. He impressed mightily in our preseason scrimmages last episode in the offseason video, so I wanted to get him some spot snaps as well. 2nd and 9, looking to fire again off the play. Fake, and Ferguson goes up and over as he hurdles him like he's running a track meet. I don't know what has gotten into Ferguson in this series. Last year he had a couple hurdles as well, and now he's already got one here against the Wolfpack. And a pitch to George McCluskey. Nice block there by number 69, Cade Martin. We try to get McCluskey going on the outside because running at this defensive line has been tough so far. 3rd and 7, Lacey against the blitz. He would have had a touchdown if he saw BB just a second earlier. And it looks like UAB is going to have to settle for the field goal here on the opening drive. But the defense does hold firm again. And the Blazers have a chance to go up 2 scores here, getting the ball up near midfield yet again. And on the RPO, it's pulled back from BB. And Caleb Brown gets a nice catch and run there. But Cade Martin now has to exit, and this offensive line is not deep enough to sustain that kind of, those kind of injuries right now. 3rd and 4. We actually come out in the offset eye, and we try to hit Ferguson on the corner route. I guess we were trying to fool Nevada into thinking we were running there, but it is 4-down territory still. And here comes 6 for the Wolfpack, and right on the money. What a counter to the blitz by KJ Lacey, a savvy throw right there. And you know who's in motion, it's George McCluskey. If we can't run the ball, then this is going to have to be how we replace it. These little short throws to get guys out in space. McCluskey up across the 20-yard line. And now UAB within striking distance again. Lacey is popped, but Iverson Hooks breaks open at the perfect time. Touchdown, Blazers up 10-0 here in the home opener. We'll keep playing like this, 2-0 for the first time in this series. Is going to be nothing but a formality. Now let's take a look at this defense, who was one deep shot away from holding Wake Forest in the second half without any points for the entirety of the game. But here on 2nd and short, this is Nate Burleson II for the first down of Nevada's offensive day today. Yes, he is the son of Nate Burleson, the receiver who is in the NFL. Yeah, I know, we need to slow down time. I'm getting too old right now. As there's Kai Woods, a very capable backup for the injured Herschel Turner. He gets 8 there. And now a 2nd down blitz for UAB, but finding the tight end, that's Brandon Vance to Cyan Stack, more known for his blocking, but a big catch there. And now as we begin the second quarter, Nevada trying to cut into this lead. It's Vance outside the numbers. Marshawn Brown is taken down at the 7. Trying to hold firm here. Here we go. Bunch to Vance's right. Star sign underneath his feet. Wide open. He's got Cyan Stack for the touchdown. As the Reno, Nevada native gives the Wolfpack their first score of the afternoon. And in coverage on Cyan Stack was true freshman linebacker Jaron Fatini-Kun, as he blows his assignment there, number 34. One of 3 new freshman linebackers we recruited. And we'll see if KJ Lacey can continue to throw the ball well without much of a running game for the Blazers today. And on 1st and 10, that's an absolute dart. 3 Wolfpack players in the area, but Ferguson comes down with it. And a beautiful adjustment on his end as well. We're going to try to run this ball again. This is George McCluskey with the tight end. Ferguson also throwing a block. And there's a decent run there of 7. The longest run by any Blazer so far today. 3rd and inches now. It is Jamie Beard in that Ashton Genty stance, but it is blown up. as multiple Wolfpack players, including Justin Benton, were in the area for that one as well. This Wolfpack defensive line is no joke. I mean, they've tallied plenty of defensive tackles for loss and sacks, but we get one of our own. There's Ezra Ojanor, who grabs a second sack here in the early goings of his first season as a starter. Vance would get those sack yards back and then some. Now only a 3rd and 6 as he comes out in the pistol. 2 tight ends to his right. Vance against the blitz is tested 1-on-1, and it is Marshawn Brown who completely destroys both Jaden Patterson and Matthew Traynor for an electric 64-yard score. And Nevada takes the lead. And this place has gone radio silent. I've talked so much about Patterson and Matthew Traynor and these immediate impact defensive players, but yeah, this one is not going on the highlight reel. And I'm still in shock that this happened. I don't know, man. This was insane. Sometimes a guy just makes a play. And Marshawn Brown is probably their most electric player, 6'3" with speed. We'll see if we can bounce back, though. There's George McCleskey up to the 2nd level, but now our best receiver, A.J. Brown, will have to come off. This is 2 pretty physical games we played so far here in Season 2. 1st and 10, screen set up for the true freshman, 3-star Drem. This is Vaughn Temple, who gets a gain of 7 on his first collegiate touch. Caleb Brown, bruised ribs, minor injury. He'll be back in soon. So we're seeing Vaughn Temple and Jalen Holmes today a little bit. Some receivers getting called up and being the next man up, as how about Lacey wide open improvising here on this play. A long catch for UAB in response. 76 yards here in the first half for Ferguson. And you're seeing some of the ability to play off the script here by KJ Lacey. Now an RPO, it is BB taken down. It's kind of been the name of the game here for the running game. Only 14 yards, and it's not like we haven't tried. And we got 14 yards to go away from the end zone here, trying to retake this lead, and it is Iverson Hooks who beats his man one-on-one. Touchdown Blazers, and Iverson Hooks scores his first touchdown of the dynasty. We talked about him becoming more of a consistently used player on this team here in year 2. And I really like his route running ratings as he destroys his man one-on-one that time to retake the lead for the Blazers. And the one-man show continues at quarterback KJ Lacey. This offense is just different with him under center, as Nevada's got plenty of time and 3 timeouts to work with, almost getting the sack there on Vance, but Nate Burleson, the second, up near UAB territory. Brandon Vance hasn't looked too shabby either, as both quarterbacks sit at 168 yards passing. Here with under 2 to play in the first half, up the seam, it is Cyan Stack for a first down. He was covered by Gage Messick, the new starting linebacker. A lot of inexperience at the linebacker position for UAB. Now only 25 seconds to go, 3 timeouts still for the Wolfpack. Outside the numbers, it is Burleson, and the Wolfpack are in prime opportunity here to retake this lead. 3 timeouts inside the 10. The playbook is wide open here on 1st and goal, and again, the middle of the field is exposed as Marshawn Brown scores for the 2nd time here in the first half, and Nevada's passing game again marching down the field. So I know it looked pretty good against Wake Forest defensively, especially against the quarterback not known for his arm, but as you can see here, it's not a done deal yet. You know, there's still going to be growing pains with this team as 14 seconds left to go. We're actually going to get aggressive, and we throw a seam shot of our own. It's Ferguson up to the 39. Wow, aggressive by KJ Lacey, and a lot of trust by Coach Hicks, letting his new freshman quarterback take the reins here and try to get some cheap points here before the half. And guess what? Going back to Ferguson underneath, taking what the Wolfpack give us. And with 2 seconds left, Ferguson alertly gets down, and we got a chance to send out the best field goal kicker of the American Conference a year ago, as Jonah DeLang has gone 16 for 16 in this dynasty mode. He's kicking from right down the middle. This is from 49 yards. It's up, veering to the right, and it tings off the uprights. Jonah DeLang, victim of a doink, and UAB, they get held to nothing there at the end of the half. So the perfect streak by Jonah DeLang is no more, missing his first field goal of the dynasty in a pretty inopportune time, but UAB still in this game, but the Wolfpack coming up big there in that second quarter. This has turned into a bit of a quarterback battle between Brandon Vance and KJ Lacey. Their passing stats are very similar, as hopefully we can get the secondary and linebacking core and coverage to wake up a little bit. I don't want to see that play again. Marshawn Brown, just absolutely embarrassing. Not only that, but we really haven't seen the run game do too much here in the early goings of year 2. Maybe we got to get a little bit more creative and counter this defensive line. Maybe KJ Lacey needs to have some more designed runs, and we did try that pitch with George McCleskey. That was a decent run earlier. Maybe we got to try a little bit more of that as well, going off tackle. Well, I do get inspired here on the first play of the second half and send Iverson Hooks in motion, and laterally we do beat that defensive line as Hooks does grab the first down with a little bit of flair at the end of that play. It will go in the book as a pass though for KJ Lacey, but the principle's the same there. 2nd and 7, McCleskey beating the linebacker, and with room to spare, that's going to be a gain of 18 through the air for George McCleskey, as he has made shockwaves with his receiving ability early on in his career. Now 2nd and 10, and here we go again, back to the well. It is George McCleskey up to the 25 in Nevada as the shootout continues. KJ Lacey up above, 250 yards passing here in his second game as a Blazer. McCleskey dropped by Dylan LaBarbera. LaBarbera is their best defensive player by overall. And now here on second down, they're sending everyone. And against the blitz, it's Jalen Holmes turning on the Jets. And he almost got a block there that would have sprung him for a touchdown by Jalen Elder. But Jalen Holmes and Iverson Hooks and even Von Temple all seeing expanded roles, with Caleb Brown getting injured early on, as there's Iverson Hooks on the slant, but it's broken up by good, stingy Nevada defense here down and tight. 3rd and goal, flag thrown, but it is Ferguson, the dig route. He's in for his second score, and this one will stand as Nevada gets called for being offsides. So UAB will decline and take this touchdown to retake the lead. Ferguson, what a route there. Everyone stepping up with no Caleb Brown out there for the last few series. And now maybe this defense starting to look like they're trying to play here in the second half. They have Nevada up against the wall, 3rd and 11, but somehow Jaden Patterson cannot slam the door on this drive as Burleson gets past him. And now Vance looks to settle in yet again. 4:22 left to go on the clock. Plenty of time to find Burleson again. This time it's Brandon Franklin. That's a mismatch for sure. Vance 17 completions to only 3 misses so far today. And now Kai Woods to Vance's left. He'll get the draw and up across the 5 down to the 1. As Ojanor will have to leave yet again, as he is battled with trying to stay healthy here in the early goings of year 2. 1st and goal. Vance, the pitch to Kai Woods, and with no problem. Touchdown, Nevada, another lead change. And yet again, man, this time UAB's got no one to blame but themselves. They had their chance to get off the field on that 3rd and 11, but they couldn't do it. And Nevada capitalizes, and the shootout continues. If there was ever a time to find the run game, it would probably be right now. This defense needs some time to rest on the sideline as we then try to find Iverson Hooks on a screen. So just like we had Nevada with their backs against the wall, now UAB needs to try to make a play here on 3rd and 10. And again, we come up big. It is KJ Lacey to Jalen Elder, who's been a little quiet today, but he comes up big when you need him the most. And it's a new fresh set of downs for UAB. Now Marquise Collins checks into the game. A little sweep to him. And it's Ferguson who throws a block. And it is Collins trying to reach for that first down. But he'll still gain 7.5. And talked about it at halftime. Need to be a little bit more creative trying to get the run involved. 3rd and 5, soft hands by Iverson Hooks. First down UAB. That's Iverson Hooks' 5th catch. And 2 touchdowns to go along on his stat line. Now Lacey will keep it this time, and throwing the block is Iverson Hooks. Now the receivers, not only they're helping out his quarterback through the air, but they're also helping out their quarterback on the perimeter, getting physical with these Nevada defenders. 3 seconds to go. Last play of the 3rd quarter. McCleskey chopped down. And it'll be 3rd and long as we enter back into the game here as the shadows come out. Sun's starting to set here in Birmingham. 3rd and 10, pistol for Lacey. He tries to find Jalen Holmes. He had it for a second, but it's knocked out. Well defended by Nevada. but the Lang does bounce back and make a field goal to make it 28-27. Now, Vance, his offense back out on the field. Play fake to Kai Woods with time until it runs out. Jordan Ross, another defensive transfer who I have not spoken about yet today. He hails from Tennessee, and he comes up with his first sack of his UAB career. 3rd and 15. Not taking any chances. Again, playing the sticks. But that's not going to stop Vance from letting it fly here. Testing us deep again, but this time we're prepared. It is Matthew Traynor rotating over with Isaiah Crozier, who's starting at defensive back adjacent to Jaden Patterson this year. Now trying to take advantage of this freshman kicker yet again. It's Solomon Beebe, has some blocks. Spring out to up across the 50-yard line. So starting this drive in a plus territory, we got to get points here. This is just inexcusable if we don't. Up the seam, we got a shot play, but it's broken up. That's a great play by Aiden Walker, who rotates over. I really thought we had Jaden Elder for a touchdown there. 3rd and short, 7:49 left to play. Huge play here as Lacey tucks and runs, extends the play off platform, and he's got a man. It's Marquise Collins for the touchdown. Are you kidding me with that throw? KJ Lacey. Welcome to Birmingham, young man. Oh man, Marquise Collins running the wheel route and gets behind the linebacker Dylan LaBarbera. That's their best defensive player who gets cooked. And Marquise Collins gets up so fired up that he fires the football into the front row. That fan isn't phased, but man, that could have ended badly. But as for this quarterback, Lacey, he is almost single-handedly changing a program overnight. What a play. That's one of the best throws I've ever seen. We'll try to go for 2 as well to go up a clean 7 points with 7 to play. Lacey underneath, it's Jalen Holmes who tries to fall into the end zone, but they'll mark him shy, so it remains a 5-point game. And for the Wolfpack, they had a blowout loss to UCLA, a blowout win to WKU, and now they find themselves in a tight game in the middle of both of those outcomes. Vance completes pass number 19 on his afternoon to make it 2nd and 3. Kai Woods, and in pursuit, it's Brandon Franklin who cleans it up there. Only a gain of 1 and saved a much longer run there. 3rd and 2, they send Woods out in the pattern. They'll swing it out to him. And in pursuit, A.J. Brown and Jaden Patterson. These two are everywhere. Patterson bouncing back from that embarrassing touchdown he let up earlier to get UAB's defense off the field and a chance to ice this game. George McCluskey, he'll fall ahead for 5. He's been our most efficient runner today. Haven't seen Solomon Beebe much, as he's actually in the negatives rushing today. 2nd and 5. Oh man, that was a little bit inaccurate, a little high for Ferguson. If he put it out in front of him, he might be able to catch and run there. But now on 3rd and 1, it's Jamie Beard, who's kind of struggled today too. But we'll try it again with number 25. The true freshman, though, is sandwiched. Not even close to the marker. Aiden Walker was the first one there. And again, Nevada holds. 33-28, Wolfpack. Chance to take the lead here, and it's a free shot. It's Ezra Odenjor. Wow, man, he is really coming to his own here as a sophomore, getting starter snaps this year. But a huge catch here. Nate Burleson, he's been the one we've had the most trouble with. That time it's Isaiah Crozier getting picked on. 2 minutes to go. Game in the balance here. And Nevada with 3 timeouts and 60 yards to go before they can take the lead. And down near the sticks, it's the running back Kai Woods. 3rd and 1, 3 down linemen for UAB. They'll swing it out yet again. Burleson reaches, and he's just shy. That's a great play by Isaiah Crozier. Burleson marks short, and the game is on the line here. Inches to go for Nevada. They'll send Burleson in motion, and he's near the sticks, and they give it to him. Oh, man, so close for the win. But on the second look here, I got the camera lined up right at the marker. And on second look, it looks like that he just had the ball, maybe the tip of that football, even with the line to gain. So Nevada does stay on the field, only sending 4 this time. It's almost intercepted. That's Jaquan Mason, who's rotating in for Ezra Odenjor, who had to leave the field again due to injury. And the freshman almost was the hero No idea what Vance was thinking there, but it is an incompletion. And now third down, 8 yards to go. Vance shuffles his feet in the pocket, deep comeback. This time it's Emmanuel Sissy on the catch. 1:11 to go. And from the 25, it's a give to number 25, Kai Woods, dragged down. That's Jaquan Mason again in on the stop. And now look at this, Marshawn Brown, a big name for Nevada that has to leave the field as the game hangs in the balance. They'll really miss him here on 3rd and 7 as UAB sends the house. Put all their cards on the table there on 3rd and 7. They get a hit on Vance, an inaccurate throw, and now it's one final play to decide a winner. 1:05 left to go from the 22. Vance, he is pursued. He finds Kai Woods, who gets pulled out of bounds. His momentum takes him out of bounds shy of the marker, and Nevada will come up short. That was Gage Messick, the senior linebacker, first-year starter, applying the pressure, and Lloyd Hicks knows that he will hold on for win number 2 in as many tries here in season 2. Wow, what a game this was. Blazers get a stroke of luck there at the end, but it counts all the same. What a classic game. This one had it all. Fireworks on offense, an excellent quarterback duel for 4 quarters, and a nail-biting finish to take us home. And for the second straight game, Lacey tosses 4 scores, including one of the best throws you've ever seen, that one right there, to go along with 348 through the air, as he's your player of the game once again. We saw him be more of a game manager against Wake Forest, but against Nevada, he was playing more off the script, showing off his impeccable feel for the game, and he willed us to our second win of season 2 behind an offensive line who's been getting beat a lot to begin the season. He didn't have much help from the running game either, as 2 of the 4 running backs actually finished with negative yards. That'd be BB and Beard, but that's why Marquise Collins was on the field for that touchdown catch. He got more snaps with BB struggling, and he was 5 for 9 in the second half to go along with that 42-yard touchdown catch. McCluskey continues to be a reliable player, 13 more touches for the true freshman today. The receiving core is outstanding. Caleb Brown was knocked out early due to injury, and don't worry, he's going to be good to go for next game. But Ferguson set a new career high with 121 yards, Hooks got 2 scores, and even Jalen Holmes made some tough grabs. The defense took a step back today. They struggled getting off the field on 3rd down. Tackling wasn't as good, but they did make Nevada earn everything in the 4th quarter. As you saw in the final moments, they did just enough to sneak out that win. But unfortunately, we have played 2 physically demanding games to open this season, and sometimes that brand of football can cost you. You saw Ezra Ojenjor leave the game late, who was battling injury to stay on the field against Nevada and even against Wake Forest at times. And sadly, that's resulted in a major setback. He'll have to miss the next 8 weeks due to a broken collarbone, as one of the rising players on this defense will miss extended time. Of course, things were going just too well for Ojenjor and just in this team, as Ezra was enjoying a breakout to begin his junior year. As in his first season as a starter, he already recorded 2 sacks and 5 tackles. But it's next man up in pass rusher. You'll see sophomore Chris Burge play in the base 4-2-5 defense. He's more of a run defender. And when we go nickel and dime and against passing plays, you'll see redshirt freshman Jaquan Mason, who almost made that game-winning interception moments ago and made a nice play in the run game. He's very raw, but has 83 speed, 89 excel, and 78 zone coverage, all which is pretty high for a lineman, so we can get creative whenever he's in the game on how we deploy him. And that'll bring us to the end of a very exciting opening episode of Season 2, an upset win against Wake Forest, and the 4th quarter comeback against Nevada. It's been super fun so far. Next episode, we're going to get a pair of rivalry games. One against Memphis in the Battle of the Bones, as they destroyed us last year, and then Troy comes to town, and they'll bring Malachi Singleton with them. As you guys may remember in the offseason video, we were torn between either Singleton or KJ Lacey to be our transfer quarterback. Singleton hails from Purdue, and he just so happened to transfer to our in-state rivals, Troy. And he might bring some bad blood with him, as we decided to go with this man to be our quarterback of the future, KJ Lacey. And I think we've been happy with that decision so far with the way he's been playing, but that doesn't mean that Singleton isn't very capable of coming in and beating us as well. So stay tuned. Next time, we have 2 key rivalry games, including our first conference game against Memphis, who destroyed us a season ago. It's going to be more tests for UAB early on to see if this team is really ahead of schedule in their rebuild. I'm College Sports Revive signing out. Hope to see you in the next installment, and I hope you enjoyed the one I brought to you today. This has been super fun so far, and I can't wait to make the next episode. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a great day.